And welcome to the interview room on this Wednesday evening. Are you ready to rock? Show me where you're at in the chat from around the world. Ohio's in the house. Here we go. Vermont, Florida, Maine, Massachusetts, Australia, North Carolina, Kentucky. Man, so great to have you all here. Texas, woo! How many Texans are in the house? Show me it. Massachusetts, England. So grateful to see each and every one of you tonight. Man, oh man, are we excited to have you here. John Lamb will be here in a minute. He just had a power outage back in his neck of the woods, back on the East Coast. And as you can tell, we've got Josh Diaz here. We got Bob Gilliam and a very, very, very special guest who just happens to have the same DNA that I have. And that is my older brother. And that is Tim up there in that corner right over there. What's up, bro?
Hey, man. I'm looking at a little bit of a delay here. I don't know if my feed is delayed.
I was going to say it runs in the family.
Okay. You're going to pay for that.
Awesome. Well, hopefully, if anything does happen, though, just again, just drop off and jump back in. But before I read and let everybody know about my brother, who I have been very blessed to have him in my life from day one. But before we get there, and I tell you a little bit about this guy over here, Josh. Introduce yourself for the audience that may not know you, and tell them all about your channel.
Yeah, my name is Josh Diaz. I'm the host of The Lab, frequently contributor on the interview room as well. Bob frequents my show, as well as Chris and John, Dr. Gary as well. And we cover all kinds of things. We do call-in shows. I make documentaries. And, I'm happy to be here, Chris. Thank you for inviting me.
Always. And we're grateful that you are here. Bobby, how about give everybody a little bit about your background?
Well, good evening, everyone. Tim, it's nice to meet you. And thanks for being here and joining in with us. Josh, good to see you. And Chris, thanks for having me back. My name is Bob Gilliam. I was a police officer for 36 years, and many of those years I was a detective handling a variety of different cases, including murders. Later on in my career, I commanded two different detective units, and I'm a graduate of the FBI National Academy, Session 249. I'm also a former Denver police officer, and I'd like to give a shout out to all my colleagues, past and present at the Denver Police Department. So again, thanks for having me here. Oh, and also I can't forget the mods. I got to give a shout out to your awesome mods, Chris.
Yeah, we have some great moderators. These gals keep us out of trouble. Thank you, everyone who's here tonight. Okay, and also John's going to join us here. He'll jump in as soon as his power comes back on. Bob's got a text into him there, so hopefully we find out. But let me tell you a little bit about this guy, right next to me. He is, again, my older brother, and I want to introduce him formally because he has earned it. This is Dr. Timothy McDonough, and he's a clinical professor of information technology and operations management at Southern Methodist University, the Cox School of Business in the Dallas, Texas area. He has a PhD in political economy from the University of Texas at Dallas. an MS in economics from the University of North Texas, and a BS in electronical engineering from the University of Hawaii, which we have always called our home base. This picture right here is my older brother teaching me how to fish back in 1966. And his professional background, he's extremely humble. I can guarantee it. But before joining the Cox School of Business and as a full-time professor, he had a distinguished career spanning more than 3 decades in an industry where he served at Google as the MMM ad scientist, which I'll let him explain what that means. In that leadership role, he developed large-scale client analytical strategies and oversaw statistical modeling across many industries for Google. He was also the chief economist at Odometry, which was a company Tim was a principal in, who was basically they bought you guys, right? Essentially, would that be the correct
Yes,
description?
that's how I ended up at Google.
Yeah, and so he's also not only is he in the IT game / data mining, but right now he teaches graduate courses in data mining, program analytics. His expertise covers econometrics, machine learning, data mining, artificial intelligence, experimental designs, GIS, and marketing attributions. Now, there's also something about my brother. He is running for office in the state of Texas. And so those of you who are there and are interested, you can just type his name in. And he's running for the Senate there in the legislation. And you can
State House.
help. Go ahead. In the House.
The House. Yeah, not Senate.
Yep.
House.
Okay, in the House. And all you have to do, if you're interested, rather than give anything here, go hit that green donate button, and you can support him in his bid to get to the House in the great state of Texas in District 114. Right, Tim?
That's right.
Okay,
it's in the heart of Dallas.
Right in the heart of Dallas. And so that is a brief, short bio of my brother. He was also an economist at American Airlines, and you were also ran the advertisement campaigns for the United States Marine Corps recruiting. Am I right?
That was a different gig. Yeah, I was a madman with J. Walter Thompson. I was a partner. And you forgot my preferred pronouns, which are on my LinkedIn profile. So if you forget about them, it's Sir, Professor, and Dude.
And there you go. So, all right, Professor, we'll run with that tonight. Okay,
I'm going with
Dude.
Dude.
Works too.
Yeah,
Dude works.
Dude. Hey, dude. All right. So now the cool thing about my bro is in the chat, you guys, you can ask this guy anything. Trust me. He's a Renaissance man. He's lived all over the world. You spent 5 years. My niece was born in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. He speaks multiple languages. He gets it, but he's funny, as you can already tell. And he knows a lot about what we're going to talk about tonight. But before we go down that lane, I got to get Bob and Josh's reaction to what the heck is going on between these two agencies, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Did we not say there are 2 trains that are running on multiple tracks and they have left the station at the exact same time, but it seems like they're colliding again. What say you?
Well, Chris, speaking of data mining, I think that's sort of what these reporters are doing. They're digging for sources that are going to tell them sort of what they want to hear, so that they can get somebody from the FBI. One gets one that says, we don't believe these are real. So it sounds like some people in the FBI believe that these notes could be real, and then there's some that believe that maybe they're not real. And it seems like the reporters are sort of pulling from where they want to pull from to kind of fit the narrative of what they want right now. I think that's a bit of what's happening, but more confusion. Nothing's cleared up. Square one. Here we go again.
Okay.
Yeah. The so-called mainstream news media, they love this kind of story. They like the divide. They'll never admit that, but they like the divide because they like to create controversy. So my opinion in this is that this is coming from the top down in both agencies. And I don't put a lot of stock in it. I think it's a bunch of minutia. And I believe that the detectives and the agents working on the Guthrie case are locked together, working toward the same goal. Are there some on the task force that maybe believe the notes are real, and those and some on the task force believe that the notes are not legitimate? That could be, but you have a disagreement in any group. So, and I'm sure that there is some, but that's how they get things solved. As you have pointed out many times on the program here, Chris, when we're discussing cases and working theories and so forth, we often have disagreements in what we think is true and what's false. And but at the end of the meeting, we usually walk out of the room with a working theory that we all are going forward with and working toward. So the bottom line for me is this is no big deal. I mean, this is great for TMZ. I mean, they're getting a lot of clicks on it. They're getting a lot of views. And
yeah, and you're right, Bob. The first thing, we talked about this last night. First thing when I wake up this morning, there's Harvey in his skin tight shirt with his muscle, with his arms out, going, "Hey, guess what? I talked to somebody at the FBI. He says they're not fake." And you could kind of see that one coming. Once Reuters came out, and well, it seems as though square one again, like you said, Bob. The TMZ is loving it.
Mm-hmm.
And John's here. So, John, welcome to the jungle.
Glad to be here. Sorry about the power outage. I've got a local builder who, at the beginning of not far from here, the power goes off at 6 a.m. and then sometimes around 8 p.m. But of course, he's not involved.
Right. Hey, that said, what say you about the counter messaging here, or the confusion in relationship to the messaging from the FBI and Sheriff Nanos, almost like two kids in the sandbox.
I'm reminded of dueling banjos from Deliverance. It is it that difficult for two major law enforcement agencies to come together and actually release a unified statement? Now, I think TMZ, if you say you talk to somebody at the FBI, that's pretty vague. You could talk to conceivably a custodian at the FBI, and it would be technically correct.
Yeah, it would be a source.
I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but it's obvious to me that this information dropped for one reason and one reason only: ratings. You know, there's almost this is something that infects the mainstream media around the globe. There's almost this vulture-like, let's see what we can get off the body of this case. You know, oh, look, there's a scrap there. But on the other hand, if there was no audience, I guess I really can't blame them, because it's the people who are feeding the beast by watching it. So I think it's more chaff. So
Okay. So let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about these letters, and Tim, for some historical background. So this 84-year-old woman is abducted from her home. I'm sure you're aware of what the case is all about. But there were a couple of letters that were written, notes, ransom notes that were sent to two news agencies and then one entertainment agency, TMZ. And there's some confusion for the last 5 months of whether these notes are actually legitimate or not. The feds have not come out. Well, we saw the statement today. They said, well, they could be, but we're not sure. And then so that got interpreted as they're fake. And then that got turned around from, well, they're not really fake. We just don't know. And so they're really not telling anybody what the heck they're about. But within those notes was a bunch of requirements in order to get Nancy Guthrie back from this alleged note writer. And part of those requirements were, you give us $4 million in Bitcoin, and you have a certain time to do that. And if it's not 4 million, it goes up to 6 million, or no, yeah, 4 million to 6 million. And then ultimately, if that didn't work, the number was going to be 8 million. And so I wanted to have you here to explain to the audience and talk to, folks about what exactly this Bitcoin game is about. And we can, kind of go from there as a panel to discuss, some of your essential presentation concept here. And so I just put these two slides together. If you want to use them, you can. But can you educate us on really what this game is all about?
Yeah, sure. But if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a couple of questions.
Sure.
Just so that I can understand this full context. I'm not a law enforcement guy at all. That's a world that's aside from you and my daughter. It's kind of a mystery to me. But anyway, so are these messages coming in through email, or somebody sending them through the mail, or
yeah, they're coming in through email.
Are they arriving by Uber or?
Yeah, no, they're coming in through email, and it sounds like they're using like a pre-printed website and filling in the blanks and sending them in to the news agency. So you go to the news agency, the contact form, they fill out the contact form, only they're sending them in into the agency. And apparently there are a couple of IP addresses, but that's what we know. That's what the public knows.
Oh, okay. I assume that they're probably connecting to that through a VPN of some sort. So who knows where it's coming? Could be Croatia for all we know.
I believe it might be Proton Mail.
Proton Mail, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all encrypted. Yeah. So so then the other thing is, all right, well, they keep increasing their demand. There's plenty of Bitcoin out there. Might as well let them go to 1 billion. Keep them engaged, right? Just keep talking to them, because every time they do it, there's some breadcrumbs being left out there. And, somebody like at the No Such Agency could figure out where ultimately it's all coming from. just a, that's a layman's perspective on that aspect of it. As far as the Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin is there's a lot of complexity under the hood, but the concept is pretty simple. And the easiest way to think about this is, let's say that we've got 5 people here in the studio, and let's say that we each have a notepad, and all we're going to record on the notepad is how much we're going to give to any of the other players. Okay, so let's just, for ease of discussing this, we're going to letter all the players A, B, C, and D, and E. Okay, so we have 5 players, and let's say A wants to put or give B $5. Well, first A has to put $5 on their own notepad, record that, and then all the other players are going to get that information as well. So we're all going to have that transaction there, that player A now has $5 in their account, and player A is going to want to give $5 to player B. So player A contacts player B and says, oh, maybe there's an exchange mechanism somewhere. Anyway, you're communicating in some way. So player A says, hey, player B, I'm going to give you $5. Okay. So player A records on their notepad, A gives B $5. And then all the other players, including B, records that transaction on their notepad. And this goes on until, everybody's just moving this thing of value. Could be dollars, could be a gold coin, could be anything. Okay. So the way that Bitcoin works is that all these notepads are connected, and connected through these links, and each one of these notepad instances is called a block, and all it is a record of needs to have that same record, right? So they're chained together, and that's where the comes from. So now we've got, and let's imagine there's some mechanism that ensures that everything that's written on any one of the notepads is copied to all the others.
Okay, so just for a second, your Wi-Fi delayed and you broke up, but I think what you said was a blockchain. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so everything is connected. All these little notebooks, all 5 of us are connected. When I transfer $5 to you, B, C, D, and E also sees it.
They all see the same transaction, right?
Okay, go ahead.
And then there are ways to ensure that no one can, like I can't surreptitiously change anything in the transaction that you had initiated. So when it gets transmitted to all the other notepads, there's a way of uniquely identifying the transaction, so that if anything changes in the transaction, like the name or the intended recipient or the amount, even by the slightest amount, the information associated with that transaction is changed, and then it'll turn out to be different than what everybody else has, and so we'll reject that transaction from the network. And that mechanism is called hashing. We don't have to get into those details, but it's virtually impossible. Even the No Such Agency would have difficulty changing that aspect of this whole thing. But what they can do is trace the transaction as it moves from one block to another, or one part of the blockchain to another. And it turns out that agencies like the FBI and others have had some pretty good success. Now, they've mostly focused on these really high value instances. For example, I'm going to read you just a couple of these. $3.6 billion was recovered in the 2016 Bitfinex hack, tracing the stolen Bitcoin to a couple in New York. They were just operating out of their penthouse apartment. Another one was another 3.6 billion seized from James Zhang, who hacked Silk Road in 2012. That was probably the most spectacular at the time. The interesting thing about that is those funds sat for several years in the blockchain, and he didn't try to move the Bitcoin out of the blockchain into a currency that could be used in the closed financial markets, right? Like dollars or yen or British pounds or whatever. And as soon as he tried to move a part of it, and it was a very small transaction, that was enough. And the FBI nailed that guy. Another one was the Colonial Pipeline. Remember, the Colonial Pipeline was a natural gas pipeline on the East Coast.
Yep.
And that was a ransomware attack, and they also managed to trace that transaction. So there is some hope out there. The thing is, and if you want to give the guy a Bitcoin, fine. There's a pretty good chance that you'll get it back. But if he sits on it for several years, like Zhang did, you'll just have to be patient for it. And really, the best strategy at that stage would be to just keep them engaged and hope that they drop some from someplace, or that they really need some money. They get divorced.
So Tim, if they withdraw the Bitcoin, and because you can also pay with Bitcoin as well, but
yes, right.
If they withdraw the Bitcoin from their wallet, is it still anonymous? Because
the transaction is not.
So the transaction
is anonymous.
Yeah, the transaction is not anonymous. The Bitcoin is.
Right. So if they want to take Bitcoin out of their wallet, the whole ledger gets notified.
Tim, can a person have multiple Bitcoin addresses or accounts?
Yes.
Okay. So is it unlimited?
Pretty much. The limiting factor is just the number of Bitcoins. There are only 21 million Bitcoins possible, and all of those haven't been discovered yet.
That goes through a process. That goes through the process of mining, which is complicated. Right. Which is like a complicated software or hardware process that networks do. And all of them, I don't believe, have been discovered yet either. Right?
No. And right now, unless something like quantum computing comes along, there are estimates in the range of 2040 would be the time frame when the last Bitcoin will be discovered.
Right.
In mind. So until then, there's still opportunities to produce more Bitcoins, but for a user like the one that we're talking about now, they're not miners. So they're putting a Bitcoin, or hoping to put a Bitcoin into their wallet. But then, unless they're going to be doing something that accepts Bitcoin in a transaction, then they're going to have to convert it to some other type of currency.
And that's traceable?
That's traceable, as well as even if they were to exchange the Bitcoin for something else, anytime that there's a transaction, it ends up in the blockchain. And so there are breadcrumbs everywhere in the general ledger that is available around the world. Everybody has the same access. Now, there are other blockchains that are not public. There are private blockchains. So if they want to use a private, if they want to use a private blockchain, there's a chance that they could slip for a while. But the guys who are using private blockchains are guys like the cartels and arms dealers and that sort of thing. So and they're not going to be too happy if some lowlife comes into their network, because it could compromise their whole deal.
So so let's make this this is fascinating, because I wanted to learn about this tonight, and I'm glad you're able to break it down. That's why I put Josh up in the left corner up there, because he has a little more knowledge than I do about this stuff. And the two of you,
I'm sure he's got more than me.
Oh, I'll tell you what,
I don't.
Let's see. So
I'm just an economist. This is not how I make my living. So
yeah, and so okay, we've got 8,000 people here and growing in the audience. So here, let's break it down real simply. So if, let's say, Josh in the upper left-hand corner wants to give me $5, okay, then he can, first, what does he have to do that? Has he got to set up a wallet?
Yeah, you have to have a wallet, and then everybody knows how much is in that wallet.
Okay, so
that's
that
part of the
means
deal.
Bob can see it, you can see it, and John can see it.
Everybody can see it. That's
Everybody.
right.
So once, go ahead.
If he's got $10 in his wallet, he can't give you 15.
Okay.
Not going to happen. Everybody
I've got
knows.
a question.
Go ahead, John.
What changes the value of a Bitcoin? I understand right now a Bitcoin is worth $60,000. What affects the value, and is there any sort of monitoring agency that keeps an eye on what the value is?
Yeah. No agencies. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's decentralized.
It's completely decentralized. And now, when you talk about value, what you're talking about is the exchange rate for a Bitcoin to US dollars, or to yen, or to yap stones in the bottom of the lagoon. So it's right. I mean, it's how many Bitcoin are you willing to give up to let me own that big piece of stone down there? So it's basically supply and demand. Now, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. That's its value. Okay, so it's absolute. But if you want to exchange that Bitcoin for something else, like dollars, well, you have to go on the market, and you have to sell your Bitcoin to someone who's willing to give you dollars to own that Bitcoin. And here's why I don't invest in cryptocurrencies in general, not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first. So let's say that you invest like today, you buy a Bitcoin, $60,000, and then at midnight tonight, one of the cartels says, you know what, we're not going to accept Bitcoin anymore. You have to pay us in Ethereum. Okay, so it's another cryptocurrency competitor to Bitcoin. Well, guess what's going to happen to the demand for Bitcoin? It's going to plunge. And especially, what if all the cartels decide, oh, you know what, we're going to behave like cartels, and we're not going to accept any Bitcoin. Nobody. Next thing you know, there's no demand for Bitcoin. So the price of the Bitcoin is going to fall just because of that fact.
And you can trade fractions also, like halves or fractions of Bitcoin. Everything is, you talk about Bitcoin as one whole Bitcoin, but people have like 1/10 of a Bitcoin, and then there's more. Then there are other people who own more of that Bitcoin elsewhere. So it's such a decentralized. That's the entire point, is that they can't, the government, the banks, the stock market really has nothing to do with it, other than, like Tim said, supply and demand. It's just whatever somebody's willing to pay. Like, say, hey, I want your couch. Well, I want 1/10 of a Bitcoin for that, and they say, okay, and then you kind of go against market value of the dollar, I guess. But yeah, it has no regulations when it
But
comes to.
sounds to me like what you're saying is that Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies can be affected by, exterior influences, just like regular
very much.
currency can. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's
And is it
like any other
also
commodity.
possible? Remember the era, and as an economist, you would remember when they were attempted to corner the gold market.
Oh yeah, sure. Same thing.
Would the same thing
Yeah.
happen with with Bitcoin?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, back in 2021, 2021, the demand increased significantly, and I think it broke 120,000. I don't remember the exact number.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then
A bubble is what it used to be called, correct, Tim?
Yes, that's right. And then the bubble burst, and
panic.
and it's been and panic. That's right. And it's been declining ever since. If you go out on YouTube, you'll see a lot of guys out there talking about what kind of a bloodbath the present situation is. But then there's always these guys who say, "Oh, this is the perfect time to buy because it's so low." Okay. I don't trust the cartels. I don't trust stakers. It's too easy to manipulate. Not the ledger itself. I want to make that clear. It's not the infrastructure that hosts the Bitcoin that can be manipulated. It's the demand for the Bitcoin. The supply cannot really be. It cannot be managed that much unless you're a state actor and you decide, okay, we're just going to hoard, and that pulls Bitcoin off of the market. So then everybody has to compete for whatever's left on the market in those cases. But it's because it's decentralized. It's very attractive to folks who are living in places in the world where participating in the banking system could even be life-threatening.
And it's so touchy, because even from, say, like, I believe yesterday Bitcoin was at right about 60,000. Today it's down around $400 or $500. So, somewhere around 59.5. And then tomorrow it could jump up again another 300, or it could drop another 500 and be down to 58,000. But it has been trending down for some time. Probably, Tim, maybe, is it because of the emergence of other Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency?
Other crypto, it is just moving around from one ledger to another, from one coin to another. And by the way, you'll notice that it's not bit dollar, okay, or some other nomenclature. It's a coin, and the others are also crypto coins, really, which means that there's no serial number associated with each one of the individual coins. And that's why a lot of state actors like it. So countries like China can accumulate huge stockpiles of Bitcoin, and no one would be the wiser except for the trace of the transactions themselves.
So what's the easiest way to corrupt a transaction by fraud or however? How can you disrupt a normal transaction?
I mean, it's impossible. I mean, if you make a change, if you change something, like a transaction in your wallet, right? The value of the Bitcoin in your wallet is equal to the cumulative effect of every one of the transactions since the birth of that Bitcoin. And in order to corrupt that thing, you would have to interrupt one of those links. And as soon as you do that, the whole ledger knows about it, and it's discarded.
So it's basically an abstract currency. It is a marker for things of value, correct?
Ultimately, yes. Think of it this way too. I brought up earlier the example of the stone money in Yap. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. If you read National Geographic, you'd learn about it. Anyway, there's a tribal society in the South Pacific. It's actually in the Melanesia, and they have these huge stones with a hole in them that make them easier to carry around. And some of these stones are actually dropped, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, into the lagoons, and they sink. And but everybody knows where they are, and everybody in the village knows who owns the stone. So
it's the same thing as gold.
Yeah, well, it's a medium of exchange, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in the case of Yap, you don't even have to have possession of the thing. Okay,
it merely
it's just that
exist.
Everybody knows who owns that particular stone. Okay, well, that's the ledger. That's the universal public ledger. So Bitcoin is really nothing more than a scaled up version of that primitive society's monetary system.
So what's the benefit of a ransom being paid in Bitcoin? What is it? The anonymity? Is it
they think
too hard to
anonymous.
trace? Yeah.
Well, as soon as it's like anything, as soon as you trade it for something of value that can be observed, then they're done. And look, these aren't the brightest bulbs in the box, right? You guys know this. So they're gonna go out there and they're gonna bling bling. They're gonna buy fancy cars, whatever. Eventually, it's their behavior is what's going to kill them.
So what the FBI, what they did is they I think they put about $300 or so worth of Bitcoin into this wallet because they gave an address. Obviously, they didn't. Nothing ever happened. I believe the Bitcoin's still sitting there because I don't think that they can get it back anytime soon, right? I mean, once that Bitcoin's in there, it's in there, correct?
Oh, well, no. Well, I mean, you can go to an ATM and get
dollars. No. I mean, nobody's touched the money inside that wallet. Yeah. So it's there until somebody does something with it that owns that wallet. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So nobody ever touched it because if it wouldn't be worth it for them to take out $300 because you'd be able to see who took that out right away.
Sure.
So, question that who do you think would? I mean, it sounds like anybody can kind of figure this out, but you have to have some type of fundamental understanding like this, where you've made it so easy to understand, where if Josh gives me $5, everybody here in the ledger, where we can all see it. Now, do you have to have an address to see it, to see the transaction, or is this like a marketplace that everybody goes to? Help the audience understand that principle behind it.
So the copies of the ledgers of the blocks, okay, are universally distributed. The whole world has access to them, to the same copy, to the same information.
Okay, so we've got wallets and wallets and keys. That goes to a transaction. Then that goes to a network of nodes. What is all that? The network of nodes.
Okay.
What is all that?
Yeah, the network of nodes that's the blockchain itself. So the wallets are individual holdings, and the keys are in two parts. There's a public key and a private key. And anybody who's familiar with PGP knows how these systems work. So the information in your wallet is secured with your private key. No one knows what's in there.
Okay.
Not at all. So if you want to give someone else, you want to transfer a Bitcoin, let's say, then all you need is their public key. And you use their public key to identify the user who is going to receive this thing, and then they'll use their private key to unscramble what you send.
Okay,
and
so
then it
if
goes
you
into their wallet.
okay, so you set up a wallet, an account,
Yes.
and you want me to transfer money into your wallet.
Wallet.
Go ahead.
That wallet has a public key that you can see.
Okay. So in order for me to transfer money into your wallet, you have to give me a key to get into your wallet.
No, you don't get into my wallet. So if I want to transfer money to your wallet, I use your public key.
Okay.
And then that public key is used to encrypt the transaction
end to end.
when they yes, and when the so then when you see that transaction, you use your private key to decrypt that transaction, and then that goes into your wallet. Nobody else can do that because you're the only one that has possession of that private key.
Okay, so if the suspect in this case is saying, I want $4 million in Bitcoin, they have set up a wallet.
Yes.
And now the person who's going to transfer that $4 million has to use their key to send that money?
That public key. That's right.
Okay.
And so they'll use that public key to, let's say, prepare the transaction. And then they'll transmit the transaction.
Okay.
And as soon as they use their private key to unravel that transaction information, it gets posted to the whole blockchain.
Okay, so once I send $4 million to you using my private key, does Bob see it, and can John see it, and can Josh see it?
Everybody sees it as soon as it is the transaction enters the wallet. Right.
You can see every single transaction that's ever happened going back to 2008 with Bitcoin.
Okay, anywhere in the world you
you
can see this?
That is correct.
Anywhere.
Yes.
So I could be in Nigeria and you'll be able to see it in Egypt or wherever, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So the audience, are you catching how this is working in a simplistic form here? Okay, so now once you, let's say you want more. Can you create a separate wallet with a different key and then request that I use my private key again to get into that one?
Well, it would be a key pair. So each wallet, or actually even each transaction, can have its own key pair.
Oh, interesting. So if the suspect has set up 2 wallets, there could be how many keys? 4?
However many they want, however many they need.
So they can make up the amount of keys as well.
Yeah, they'll publish the public keys. That's why it's called a public key. Everybody can see it.
Oh,
They could have a
interesting.
dozen of them.
Like a bank number. This also sounds like
Yeah.
in a very,
It's,
very fundamental sense, like PayPal, where
yes, that's right. And what numbered Swiss accounts are, right?
yeah,
The difference is, have to make this very clear. The numbered Swiss accounts have an intermediary. Okay? There's a private ledger. That's the bank, and this is what we're avoiding with cryptocurrency. No private
So
ledgers.
Tim, so the $4 million, if I'm the suspect in this case and you have somebody has deposited the $4 million into the account,
Yes.
I take that Bitcoin, and now I'm still unsure on how I monetize it. And the second part of the question is, how do I, once I take it out, can I delete the account information, or does it live forever?
You can't change the blockchain. Okay, you can't delete anything from the blockchain. Once it's on there, it's a write-only memory. We call that a WOM.
What's it called? What's it called?
It's a WOM. It's a write-only memory. So, meaning you can't even read it. So, but here, all right. So here's a funny story that might help a little bit. You can disconnect your wallet, okay, from the blockchain. Now, and then you can reconnect it again, and then it'll set up its own chain again. So you can put Bitcoin into your wallet. Let's say you put it on a hard drive or a like a thumb drive, and then you pull it out and you put it in your pocket. Now it's a hardware wallet. Okay. Now, if you want to sell a Bitcoin, you have to go somewhere where you can connect that wallet back to the blockchain. You could do it with a computer. You could do it with an ATM. They have these cryptocurrency ATMs. So that's another way to do that. So here's the funny story. This guy in Wales, this is back, more than 10 years ago. He has some Bitcoin on a hard drive, and it got accidentally disposed of and ended up in the landfill, the municipal landfill. Okay. Have you heard this? Okay.
no.
So,
But I can already put the pieces together.
Is this where you couldn't get it out?
He begged the town council to allow him to dig through the landfill to find his hard drive.
I remember
because it has all this Bitcoin on it. Okay. Last year, the value of the Bitcoin in that wallet exceeded $300 million. Okay. It's in the landfill. And the town council said, keep in mind, we're talking Great Britain, right? Nope. You're not going to be digging through our landfill, mate. There's 300 million pounds in the landfill. Let me dig it out. I'll give you half. No. We'll not do.
And that's the kind of the perks of having more than one Bitcoin wallet set up as well. Exactly, if one is compromised, that money's it's just there. You know, I mean, you'll never get it back. It just sits there basically.
Yeah. So it begs to differ the concept of why is a suspect who allegedly abducted an 84-year-old woman asking for Bitcoin as a transaction to get her back? I mean, what if everything is traceable and everybody can see it once it hits the marketplace, meaning once that transaction starts to move and the ledger lights up, what's the psychology behind asking for Bitcoin? Is this an amateur move? What say you? Anybody?
This question is way out of my league. This is law enforcement. Definitely. The only thing I could imagine as a layman is that this guy's talking to some other lowlife in prison and gets this idea. Hey, they'll never trace it, man.
Well, the thing is, though, but what doesn't make sense about it is usually these sort of Bitcoin kidnappings or extortion. You go after somebody who owns a great deal of Bitcoin, because moving it is rather simple. Cashing it out is not always as simple as that. But this, from what we understand, and I mean, I don't know what Nancy had in Bitcoin, but I can't imagine that she was a Bitcoin connoisseur. Most people aren't into cryptocurrency. Most people in general. I mean, it's kind of a subset of people that are really into it. I know that cartels do use Bitcoin because it is decentralized, and a lot of them use it to launder money, although the IRS can track Bitcoin, and if the IRS can track it, the FBI can track it, and you do have to pay taxes on that kind of stuff. But what I don't understand is why you would target an 84-year-old woman and then demand Bitcoin, because I guess you would have to go out. If you didn't have $4 million or $6 million worth of Bitcoin sitting in a wallet somewhere, you're going to have to go buy that, and which I guess is completely possible and easy to do. But once it goes out, it's got to be pulled out of somewhere. And as soon as it's pulled out, like you're saying, Tim, they can track where it was pulled from, right? Or where it was exchanged, because
where it's exchanged.
Yeah, where it's exchanged. I mean, I guess you can pay with Bitcoin all over the world, so you don't technically never ever have to actually exchange it, right?
Well, I mean, here's one scenario. Let's say they have a Bitcoin and it's worth $60,000. They can use it to purchase some narcotics. Okay, from a drug dealer who accepts Bitcoin. Now that even though that transaction is on the ledger and everybody can see it on the blockchain, the process of tracing the parties involved, like I said, it's not impossible, but the agencies have to determine whether it's even worth pursuing, right? But if this guy's got $60,000 worth of now cocaine, well, now he has to convert that into cash, and you know how that's done. So either way, now they're back. They're back in the system that is being watched more closely by other folks in the law enforcement community, and eventually, they have to take their chances in that way.
Well, I knew that one of the ways I became familiar, I read a story about Bitcoin. This was years and years ago. Was that the FBI was cracking down on online gambling transactions? So like if you play online poker or something and you win, say $10,000, and they were going to wire it to your bank account, the FBI would seize those wire transactions. So the poker players started going to Bitcoin because the feds could not seize it at that time. And so it certainly does have a, I'm not saying that it started out as this, but it does have a criminal element to it, and criminals do like to use it because it would probably, I mean, look, nobody's gonna put 4 million, unless you're maybe in Mexico or somewhere else, somebody's not gonna put $4 or $6 million in a duffel bag, and leave it outside of
Almost impossible to carry, Josh.
yeah,
That's
leave
like
it
paper currency. You got a forklift handy?
right, leave it outside of a porta potty or something like that. It's just not gonna. So it almost seems like this cryptocurrency is really the only way that people can, get money for kidnapping these days. I mean, that's what I would think.
But it doesn't make sense on what Tim's, telling us here, because if you're willing to take the risk and take an 84-year-old woman out of the house at 2:30 in the morning and hold her and say, now give me $4 million in Bitcoin, knowing full well that Bitcoin potentially could be traceable at some point. I mean, it's just a waiting game, like he's talking about. If it just sits on the ledger, like the guy, the Chinese guy that you gave the example for in China, and 2 years goes by or whatever that time frame was, the moment he moved that money, they had him. It's over. And are you saying, Tim, then what is this Monero, Monero? Have you heard of that?
That's another crypto.
And is that I saw a comment that says Bitcoin's traceable, but Monero is not.
Yeah, but the thing is, Chris, you don't have to take the Bitcoin out. You can pay at places like Starbucks. You can pay in retail stores with Bitcoin. You never have to take it out. You don't have to, you can use it almost anywhere.
Yeah, but doesn't it leave a bread trip?
It'll leave it on the ledger, but it won't expose your wallet. It won't give up your identity.
No, but
so Josh, how do you?
Go ahead, Joe.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Bob. No, you're fine.
How do you pay for it? Let's say you go to Starbucks. How do you pay with Bitcoin?
On your phone.
Starbucks? Okay.
On your phone.
Okay, so you have like a barcode or something, or
it's like Apple Pay. We double click now.
Venmo or something. Yeah,
and you can do that out of the country as well. Like, that's the thing, is that it's used everywhere. Now you can also take that money from one Bitcoin wallet and split it into different locations. That way it's not as easily traceable that way. So you have the main Bitcoin wallet, and then you get you have a subset of other ones, and you can have as many as you want. Am I correct, Tim? There's no limit on the amount of Bitcoin wallets you can have. And you can break that up into little chunks. Okay. And that is not as easy to trace that way. Okay. So you could be using different Bitcoin wallets. You don't have to use it from whatever you call the honeypot. Basically, you can break it up and just use as many as you want, and you can do that, and they can chase you forever. So, I mean, there are ways of using it, but it's still, yes, it can be traced, but there are ways that criminals do use it to try to stay a step ahead, basically.
The more I learn about this, the more this impresses me as either being some other grifter attempting, a parasite, a human tick, trying to get in and benefit from this situation, or that it's just chaff. Because and we've discussed this over and over again, the notion that Nancy Guthrie was abducted as part of a kidnapping, that just doesn't sound to me like kidnappers would want to let the money from a Bitcoin account just sit. Particularly since you've told us that the value of the Bitcoin can go down. I just am more, this has been fascinating, and the more I hear, the more I'm inclined to say this was either thrown in to be a red herring or complicating factor, or it's somebody else hoping that somebody was going to give up some money but not involved. And certainly there's a history of people who have attempted to create false ransom demands. So this has been interesting.
No, it is fascinating because it does make you think now, okay, like I just saw another one about tornado, another currency, tornado currency, the Monero. Tim, how many, if you know, how many currencies are there in this game?
The last number I saw was about 50 million.
What?
It's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, most of these
every one of them has a different name?
Oh, yeah. And the thing that distinguishes most of them is that they're private blockchains, not public.
Okay, which is really the whole purpose, right? I mean,
I mean, as a currency,
right?
Yes.
Keep the government's greedy hands off of it.
So I can actually set up a currency based on Beanie Babies, correct? Because I've been dreaming about that.
No, you wouldn't have any Beanie Babies, but
but they're worth so much.
Beanie Babies. I once bought Burger King with Bitcoin. Paid for it in store with Bitcoin.
What do you
just off my phone?
What's the greater fool theory? It says the best description of Bitcoin pricing dynamic is to think about the market for baseball cards. Bitcoin pricing is driven by the greater fool theory. That's not an entirely bad thing, but it's speculative.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying very early in our conversation, is that the reason that I don't invest in cryptocurrencies, and I'm not giving financial advice to anybody out there. Okay, so maybe you're going to make a killing. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Probably not.
But anyway,
particularly in connection with kidnapping, where we haven't found the body.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. All right, so again, it's every one of these currencies have their own supply and demand markets, or markets with supply and demand profiles. So it's the Bitcoin was the first one. It's the one that still has the highest volume. So
how long has Bitcoin been around?
2008.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's it. Satoshi.
So at least so somebody has knowledge that Bitcoin's been around since at least 2008 to know that
it was a paper. It was a paper published by a guy named Satoshi Nakamura. And nobody knows who the guy is or if he even exists.
Whoever did it, it's genius. It really is.
Yeah. There's some speculation about who it was, but never been identified.
Never.
Okay, so this unidentified guy comes up with air and says, "Let's go ahead and trade it."
Idea.
With this idea. It's like pet rocks.
Well, no, but I mean, what he did is conceived of the notion of the blockchain. So it's really about the blockchain, not so much about the particular currency.
Okay, why is the blockchain so important?
Well, that's the ledger.
Okay, so that's
the information.
So it's more about
the notepads that everybody has.
So it's more about the neighborhood. That
it's more about the notepads that everybody has
right
in front of them, that all have the same information, than it is the information that's on the notepads.
More about the mechanism than actually the.
What happens if somebody violates the rules?
Well, then the transaction is rejected by
declined.
By the chain. It's not validated.
Okay, is there any way to like in a bank robbery, you throw a die pack into a bag, and as the suspects run out, it explodes? Is there any way to mark the Bitcoin?
Well, the Bitcoins themselves are fungible, completely fungible. They are coins. Okay. Be like trying to mark a quarter.
Okay. So there's no way to mark them. But
No serial numbers.
Are they physical coins or virtual?
They're
No, it's all
imaginary.
Yeah.
It's
So
all-
they're
Sort of.
It's a record on it's just like our dollars.
Yes.
right.
All imaginary.
But-
The money supply isn't all the stuff we all used to carry in our wallets. The money supply is all mostly just entries in bank ledgers. That's the money supply.
But
So
what
they took the same principle. Go ahead, Josh.
what is so? But here's the thing, and you know, I know people are like, "Oh, this is so crazy" or whatever. If you have a PayPal account, you can go into your PayPal account right now, and you can exchange your PayPal balance for Bitcoin through PayPal, and then you have Bitcoin. So you'll own 0.00012 Bitcoin or something, you know, something tiny if you buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. Okay. And every day that Bitcoin is going to go up a little, down a little, up a little, maybe down, 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 up, 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 down. And you can hold on to it as long as you want. And hopefully it'll spike. It's sort of like the stock market in that aspect. But any of you that are listening to this show right now, and I'm not suggesting that you do this at all, but you can Bob, you could own some Bitcoin right now if you want to.
I'm going to pass on that.
Okay, well, that's
Just
fine.
so you know, I'm sure that's a shock
It
to you.
impresses me as like Mario.
No, I
coin.
as somebody who believes that we went to the moon, I'm not shocked that you're going to pass on Bitcoin.
Hey, at least I don't believe in a Yeti. Okay,
Not yet.
No
Not
such
yet.
thing,
You
brother.
I believe in Yetis. They're the best coolers ever.
They are really good, and their cups are fantastic.
I'm still
So-
getting over the yak at the bottom of the lake, or
But-
You
the
guys
river.
knock
But-
yourselves out. I don't believe in any
Yeah.
of that, or
Yeah,
UFOs.
But Bob,
or
it's no different. I mean,
Okay.
it's really no different than the stock market. Okay. It's the same principle, just a different form. So
Well,
if
we've
you
got
have like
9,000 people watching us right now, and they're all scratching their head, going, "Why is this? Why would the suspect choose this avenue of payment?" I mean, but I didn't mean to cut you off, Josh. But finish
because
your
it's
thought.
because it is harder to trace than going through banks. Now it's not, but like Tim said, it's not impossible. Now people think it is, but it's not.
Tim, can you answer this question? Can someone explain mining Bitcoin, please?
Oh boy. Okay, so it involves solving a very complex mathematical problem. And
Man, I'm out.
yeah, I'll just say that it takes an awful lot of trial and error to solve the problem. But if you do, you're rewarded with the network, the blockchain itself rewards you with a Bitcoin.
So it's not
If
like
you solve-
Mario and the Mario Brothers running along and jumping up and making the coin pop up.
That probably worked too.
Yeah.
Same sort of concept.
Yeah. But the outcomes of this exercise are limited by theory, and again, this was part of the original paper. So there are only going to ever be in existence 21 million of these solutions. But
yeah, and at the rate that they're going, I read that it was like almost 100 years from now is when all the Bitcoins would be mined eventually. And once they're done, they're just all out there in the ether.
Yeah, well, last week I read a paper that said it'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 2040.
Oh, okay.
At the current rate.
Because I mean, people are going after it. I mean, they really, they really are mining for them for sure.
But if quantum computing begins to, make good on its promise, this could be overnight.
Yeah, right.
This could be,
And-
it could be done overnight, and boom.
And
Now you have
then
a
what
fixed
happens?
supply.
And then what happens? And then what happens to the price of that? It goes down.
No, now you have a fixed supply, which means the supply curve is straight up and down. Okay. And the only thing that's going to change is the demand. So that's the demand curve is going to shift left and right. And that is what is going to determine the current market rate.
Right.
Yeah, and if everybody's just joining us, this is my older brother in the middle. Those of you who are just getting in here, and he is a professor at SMU in not only information technology, but operations management. And you teach data mining, programming for analytics, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just really amazing stuff. And he's also AI, yeah, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and he's running for a seat in the what district, Tim?
It's a Texas House, District 114. It's the heart of Dallas.
Yep.
And
so, go ahead.
You want to hear my stump?
Sure, give him your stump.
Okay. I'm Tim McDonough. I'm running for Texas House, District 114. I am the first professor from SMU in its 114-year history to run for a public office. Now, I'm an economist, so naturally I think about property taxes. We need to abolish property taxes. I know how we can get there. So remember, in November, when it's time to vote, it's time for Tim.
Dude, shades of Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Beautiful.
And so if you want to donate, you can hit that little green button. His campaign is in our notes. So you can be anywhere. In fact, they can be anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah. Is there a link? No, well, I prefer not. Yeah, no, I don't want any international.
We pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah, no international.
Yeah, you
stuff.
can. Yeah,
No
can we
Bitcoin.
donate with Bitcoin?
I'm not accepting
any Bitcoins.
I am accepting Beanie Babies.
You can buy him a Starbucks coffee with the Bitcoin.
Okay, so
some Burger King.
No, but I don't know. Is the link to the site there?
Yes.
Timforhouse.com. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If you're from anywhere outside the United States, you can donate, but I'm going to refund it. So it's just, that's the law.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that piece of it. So
we're Bitcoiners. We don't care about the law.
Well,
it's
there's
time
that.
for Tim. It's time for Tim.
Time for Tim.
Time for Tim. I love that.
Okay. So I think we have a really good understanding of the simplicity, yet the complexities of this particular problem. And I think that's why it's so confusing for not only the authorities who are sitting back going, why is this guy asking for Bitcoin? Why do these notes, can they be real? Can't they be real? People sending in, IP addresses and stuff. So in theory, the bottom line is the moment that person goes and touches that money and pulls it off of a ledger and tries to move it or do something with it, game on. Is that accurate?
Almost, because if it stays inside the blockchain,
right,
then it would be difficult to trace. But as soon as any part of it leaves the blockchain and gets transferred or exchanged for anything else, like US dollars, yen, rubles, you name it, now it's exposed.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Can you trade it? Can you trade Bitcoin for Monero?
Again, if it comes off the blockchain, okay, and then you go purchase Monero,
right?
That would be traceable transaction.
Okay, so now, if Monero, I have it on, go ahead.
Yeah, Monero's going to be harder to trace if it's removed from that one of their blockchains. The thing that makes Monero different than Bitcoin primarily is that it uses private blockchains. In addition to, there are some public blockchains, but it mostly uses private blockchains. So only the participants in those private blockchains are privy to.
But you have to start in that blockchain. Your wallet has to be in that blockchain. I can't use my wallet in Bitcoin in the wallet in Monero's blockchain.
No, you have. There's an exchange rate.
Okay, so I was going to say, so in theory, the suspects could say, okay, I'm worried about Bitcoin, so I've opened up a wallet in Monero now. You're going to transfer the money into Monero.
Right.
And this person could keep doing this. How many different blockchains are there?
Oh, gosh. Well, again, there are, 50 million currencies alone. So, and the blockchains are huge. Now, the size of the blocks are small, but the chains are enormous.
So this could just keep going on. The suspect could, if the cops were onto him in the Bitcoin, he could just shift.
He'd better be quick.
Okay, but I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm trying to think of, thoughts. Bob, John, and Josh.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. That if all that money gets deposited into one wallet, you could have, I don't know, 150 other wallets that you deposit chunks of that into, use those cash or pay for stuff with it, and move, deactivate those and move on to other ones.
Yeah, but the moment you start parsing those pieces out, like taking a quarter, let's say break it up into 4 quarters, every one of those transactions is going to be viewed.
Yeah, but it's still, but even you're right. But even if that is the case, some of those transactions are so small that they chase them forever. Like it's not like a $300 million transaction just at all hours of the day, all around the world. It is traceable. It's just
but if you're gonna ask for $4 million and you get $4 million, well, that means you also want stuff, and you want a lot of stuff.
Well, either that or you owe somebody who's going to, I mean, if you owe somebody something, you can pay the debt, but of course that would be recorded, which then brings us back to Derek, who will be in court tomorrow with his provocative text message of Bitcoin.
Yeah. So, let me explain that to Tim. So there's a guy in Hawthorne within lickety split after she was abducted, sends a text message to 2 of the family members saying, and it's a question, did you get the Bitcoin? And then the second follow-up text is, we're waiting at our end. So basically what you said there with the keys, that would make sense in a common sense that one person has a key and the other person has the other key to make that transaction end to end, which is a new dynamic for this case that we've not discussed here yet, for lack, obviously for naivety. I had no idea how completely complicated this was, but at the same time, simplistic it is. But to ask for $4 million, the family has $1.2 million in reward money available in this case. The suspect has asked for $4 million, and like we talked about, in a payment plan, it goes up to 6, and then it went up to 8. And none of that has been paid by the family or the FBI or anybody in this situation. John,
can I ask a question, Chris?
Yeah, of course.
Question. The sequence of events, Derek in Hawthorne sends the text message regarding, is the Bitcoin on its way? Was this before or after news had been leaked that there was a purported ransom demand for Bitcoin.
It was after.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I mean, the note came out, and then almost simultaneously, this guy's firing off these alleged text messages, which are in the affidavit, so they're not alleged. The authorities have said these.
Are we covering that tomorrow? By the way,
tomorrow for a court hearing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be closed.
Well, there's no indication of that now.
But they're not going to have cameras, are they, Bob? Do you think?
No, and there are no cameras in federal court. It's at anybody in the Tucson area, if you're interested. It's at 10:20 a.m. in Judge Jacqueline Rateau, Rateau. I believe she's a magistrate judge, and it'll probably last maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I looked at the docket, and it's a really heavy docket. Maybe that's a normal docket for Tucson. But it would be interesting. It should not be closed, although if there's a compelling reason, they can close it. And like we talked about on Josh's show last night, if it is closed, in my opinion, that's going to be pretty interesting and very telling. So there's no reason to do that. I think in my experience in the federal system, attending hundreds of these hearings, I think I've seen maybe one or two that were closed to the public. Otherwise, it's a public, we have public court in this country, and the federal court is no different than local court. So if you're in the Tucson area and you're interested, it would be great if you could go and then maybe report back to us. That would be awesome.
How long, like, at what point will we realize if it's open or closed?
Well, if you go to the court and they have the doors locked and partitions over the windows in the courtroom doors that say the hearing is closed, then we'll know it's closed.
Oh, so, but it's not something that's on the docket where they say this one's closed.
No, well, sometimes it will show up on the docket, and it was not on the docket this morning when I looked.
Well, Bob, I've got a question. A lot of plea hearings, and I don't know what it's like in federal court, the offender is often compelled to, or there'll be a reading of, that there was a reasonable likelihood they would be found guilty of, and they will sometimes go into the crime in some detail. Is it likely that will happen?
Yes. So generally, the U.S. Attorney's Office will make a proffer, put it on the record, and the proffer will be it's just a detailed account of what they would put on in a criminal trial if the trial were to occur. So it will be a detailed statement from the U.S. Attorney. It's on the record, and anyone in the courtroom will be able to hear it.
Awesome. Tim, can you answer this question? So how do you load the Bitcoin account? Bank, or do you buy it somehow?
Oh, all right. So first you download an app, put it on your phone or on your computer. Usually it's your phone. And you set up a wallet. Okay. And then you can transfer funds from your bank into your wallet. And then you would go to an exchange. You can do that through the app, and you buy a Bitcoin or whatever you want, or a fraction of, and that Bitcoin then gets transferred into your wallet. The dollars that you are paying for it go to the exchange, and the exchange then acts as the clearinghouse. So all those dollars go back to whoever owned that Bitcoin.
And who are managing these exchanges?
Oh, they're companies.
Exchange just companies. Like different companies?
Yeah.
And how did they get in the business on imaginary money?
Yeah, I mean, they do it for a fee. every transaction.
How's it different than a bank account?
It's decentralized.
Yes, completely decentralized.
There's no government, like there's no government oversight basically on Bitcoin. I mean, look, that's something that the government has been working on, but they don't have a choice but to work with Bitcoin because it's so accepted everywhere now. I mean, you can get crypto style home loans through certain banks.
What? Okay, that I'm staying out of that thought process.
It's not as look, and you know,
I'm not
I
saying
don't know
it's complicated. I'm just saying
I don't know if Tim will back me up on this or not.
Who
It's
came
not
up
as
with that?
complicated as you would think, unless you're trying to be a criminal about it.
Right. Who named it Bitcoin? What was that guy's name? The Japanese guy, it sounded like.
Oh, well,
Oh,
it's fictitious name, Satoshi Nakamura. Yeah, like I said, it's fake. Nobody knows who he is, or even if he exists.
So again,
It could be 10 guys who wrote the paper. You know, nobody's talking, or they're all dead.
Wow. So in 2008,
then it becomes your job.
Yeah. So in 2008, this whole thing just pops up into the environment, and next thing you know, people are trading, basically taking money out of their bank accounts and creating this marketplace.
It was because of the crash,
right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, right. 2008. So, well, what it is a recipe for the blockchain. So once the recipe was out there, everybody's using it, and they're building blockchains.
Oh, interesting. So they're
and one company, you know, one group of entrepreneurs got together. They raised a little bit of money, and they decided to launch the Bitcoin blockchain.
So did the
Bitcoin now is on? Was that?
Did the VC folks jump into this game pretty quickly?
You know, I don't remember how they got their first round. It may have been a bootstrap, actually.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, I'm going through some more questions here. So you're saying it can be used like a debit card on a phone?
Yeah, it comes out of your wallet.
Yeah, so just like you have a PayPal wallet, you have a Bitcoin wallet, and you can choose to use whatever wallet you want to pay, and it will say, like, you know, when it says you know, accepted here, Visa, MasterCard, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Bitcoin. It's just another way to pay.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, I just saw a message in the chat. It's right. It's Satoshi Nakamoto, not Nakamura, Nakamoto. But I mean, like I said, it's fictitious, so I don't think he cares. I think
Not like Nakamoto.
You're the one that cares, Tim.
Yeah,
that was a great point.
Sounds like remember the old Atlanta Braves mascot, Chief Nakahoma. Exactly.
Yeah, Nakahoma. It's more about how many people you can convince. Sounds very good for someone that wants to fly under the radar and do illegal stuff. I'll stick with gold and silver.
Well, it's called the digital gold.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
It's the same concept. One you can physically hold, one's digital, but it's sort of the same concept.
It's very closely related to a more general monetary concept called specie based. So an example of a specie would be gold. The United States left the gold standard in 1971, and ever since, you know, we've had the Federal Reserve fiasco. But that's another reason people like crypto, because the central banks are not involved at all.
So is that make it easier to hide the money?
Well, it depends. If you're using the Bitcoin for direct transactions, it's like, hey, I'll give you 1 Bitcoin for, however many kilos of whatever
Stuff.
substance, then yeah, then you don't need dollars at all.
So if I wanted to move product throughout the United States, which is happening through the cartels, you said,
Yeah.
And that was a really good point that you brought up. For somebody to interfere in that ledger in any way, shape, or form, I know, but that would, let's say if this was a cartel game asking for the $4 to $6 million, then that's going to bring a lot of attention into that ledger inside of that environment. Would that be accurate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that'd be like opening a window and saying, anybody out there, the FBI? Okay. Right. Is that so? Yeah. That takes this note writing actually further away from the cartels being involved in it. You would think.
I doubt they would. Look, so it's like in the cartels, $100,000 is not $100,000. It's 0.1 million. That's how they're thinking about it. Okay. Or it's even worse. It's 0.001 or 0.1 billion. Okay. It's just not on the radar. They're not. This is not something that the street level criminals are doing in a significant way.
Yeah,
which again makes this appear a red herring. This was either that or whoever it was that. Well, as you say, as you've said so often, Chris, you've got 2 tracks. One of which is that the abductors, and I'll say again, I don't believe this was a kidnapping for ransom.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that those suspects threw it in as a complicating issue, or you had some vultures who thought they were going to swoop in and attempt to turn some bucks off a tragedy. So
I don't think it is a kidnapping for ransom either, but the FBI said today that it is being investigated still as a kidnapping for ransom.
Well, and of course, what else are they going to say?
I don't know. Maybe, everything that they said, there was a lot of,
there's a lot of excessive verbiage attached to it. And it's because I understand they can't speak freely. So, but this is really clarified to me that the Bitcoin is not involved in the primary offense.
Yeah, I agree. The more I've learned about this tonight, the more I am also convinced that it's they're going down a lot of rabbit holes, and they're missing what's probably right in front of their face. Which I suspect they probably have. I think they probably have it at some point. I think they know what we don't know right now. But there's enough signals out there that this thing is moving in the right direction. I think we're going to wake up. There's going to be all kinds of press conferences, and everybody's going to go, well, that's interesting. And it's not going to be hocus pocus. Which one other thought that occurred to me: are there marketplaces on the dark web, Tim, that are trading this stuff that there's no way, unless you really dive into it with the 3-letter agencies, on the big problem in the those who would do us harm from foreign actors?
It broke up for me there, but
are they trading this stuff on the dark web? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there is dark web activity. Keep in mind that what we're talking about is a medium of exchange. Well, there has to be some communication. All right, what are you exchanging? What's it for? When are you going to make the transaction? What's the amount, and so on? Well, the terms of the contracts. So all of these things involve something outside of the blockchain, and that's what's going to trip them up. Okay, and that's why I was suggesting earlier is the thing to do is to just keep them engaged. Say,
Right.
well, you know, we didn't understand that last message because there was a misspelling. You know, could you send it again? Right.
Right.
Just keep them engaged, because every time they do something like that, they're leaving a breadcrumb somewhere.
Assuming that it's real, that these people are real.
And we don't know that they didn't respond to the ransom demands in any overt way. And we're now talking about the passage of 5 months. And has there been any further communication? We don't know.
Yeah. It sounds like, based on what I'm hearing here, is they're laying real low. What happens to your Bitcoin wallet when you pass away?
Well, it's part of your estate, really. I mean, if you, right, Tim, if you basically put it into your will.
I missed it. Sorry. It's breaking up. I don't know what's happened to my feed.
What happened?
Go
ahead, George.
Oh, they just said when you die, what happens to your Bitcoin? But it's part of your estate that you leave if you have a will left. That's how it works, isn't it?
Sorry, Josh. Let me log off. I'm going to come back in.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically, you get the inheritance laws and it's probated and all that kind of stuff. But it's no different, than throwing a car in there or a house or something like that. So it's left as inherit. If you want to leave it to somebody, then you leave it to somebody. If not, then you get buried with it, I guess. And there are people that get buried with their money.
Yeah. No, you guys, this is for me, I mean, he's my brother, but I never asked him about this stuff. I mean, the guy's got like a 25-pound brain.
Yeah, he's smart.
I'm just like a
very informative.
He's a smart guy.
Just makes me confident that I want nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And again, here's his site. You can go learn all about him. And you can also donate to his campaign. He's running for the House in Texas. So,
man, people got so rich off of it, but it's less likely now, because I mean I remember when people were talking about Bitcoin being, it was like, oh, it's at 16,000, 17,000, and then I think like Tim said, it got up to 120,000 per Bitcoin. It's half of that now, which is still high, but you have to pay $60,000 for the Bitcoin. That's the surface level value of it. And you hope it goes up some or down some, but the fluctuations aren't as big going up. You do have some big fluctuations going down, and it is trending down, but it's a slow trend. Yeah. But you just kind of hope, it's the stock market type, you hope something.
It's an investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Tim, where we left off was what happens when you pass away. Where does it go?
I'm going to try another network.
Okay.
He's gonna write code for his own network real quick.
He's doing Bitcoin, man.
He just bought a bunch of Bitcoin.
He's doing Bitcoin right now. That's what I love about him. He's so funny. Well, he's still here, but he's so funny sometimes. We'll be at a store. I was at a store with him once, and he goes to the guy, "You accept cash?"
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of what it feels like sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, let the machine do the addition and the subtraction, because you ain't going to rely on a clerk to make change properly.
Just crazy stuff. Yeah. But are you there? You back?
He's blinking.
Yep. He's trying to figure out. He's shifting networks.
This is your AI brother.
Oh yeah, he's
smart, man. He is.
Wait, he taught me how to fish. This is in Lanakai in Kailua.
Yeah, that was right after he held you underwater for 20 seconds, huh?
He might have, but probably not. Not him. He doesn't have any guile. My brother has no guile.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to say that.
You are.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially an older brother.
This was 1966. And I think our dad was in Vietnam at the time. And so he, was pretty much the role model in the family while my dad was off. And so notice I didn't have shoes. I never wore shoes when we lived in Hawaii as kids. We had the flip-flops and stuff, but
you guys had such blonde hair. You were out in the sun all the time, huh?
All the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you back, Tim? Can you hear us? Nope. He's there, but he's not here.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah. And so, you there? Nope. This will get him here. I'll talk about his campaign.
Time for Tim.
No.
He also is a pilot, and he's done a lot of different things. It's our family, his daughter here. She works at the ME's office.
Oh,
so there's a whole family here of public service and just other things. So it's great. It's great. Are you still with us? All right. Well, he's figuring that out. He's going to send me a text message. I'm sure of it. Any other questions or comments from anybody? Let me go through some of these while we're doing that. While he's figuring it out here. Let me know when you're back. Anywho. Oh, there it is. Private chat. Yeah. It's chirping too bad to understand. That's okay. That's okay. Wrapping up. Let me chat him up here. Oh, there he goes. Aloha.
Boom.
All right. So let's go through some of these. Recent man drained his Bitcoin wallet because he was live streaming and accidentally showed his private key, I believe. Video of it went viral.
I've heard of stuff like that.
My goodness. Plant life.
Idiots.
There are custodial and non-custodial accounts you can open, which means anonymous or non-anonymous. Interesting. The contradictions Nano says refer to FBI about some ransom notes, but Cash was asked today, said the sheriff's case he can't answer. Oh, exactly. Yeah. And
did you see that, Chris?
Yeah, I saw it. And that's what we were talking about. The very first thing we put up here were the two contradictions. I mean, it's like, who's on first? And we were worried about this from the very beginning. It was one of the first things we talked about is this idea of, holy cow, are these guys going to get along, or is this going to turn into this? And here we are 5 months later, and we're reading these statements. I mean, it's
John, you see down there at the end, however, local authorities remain the lead. So direct your questions to them.
And they are in the lead because so far as we know, the FBI is still in the fundamental technical support role. Now, it could change, but I'm kind of, as I said a little while ago, I'm kind of dumbfounded that the two agencies couldn't release, since there's a task force, a unified statement.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that-
because the upper echelons of both agencies are not communicating. They're just acting independent, and that's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what we're afraid of. I mean, and when you
Yeah.
read this letter here, well, just look at the compare and contrast both statements. The FBI and its task force partners have received several ransom notes, and in over the course of the investigation. Okay, so I don't know what that is. A truck going by.
It's got to be Tim.
The space fleet is landing.
That means it's Tim time.
Yeah, it says some have been damaged or deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may potentially be legitimate and are still being investigated as such. This case continues to be investigated as a kidnap for ransom. I didn't know it was a kidnap for ransom ever.
I didn't either.
Nobody told us that. Hey, but then they go, the FBI has and will continue to offer all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. It's almost like he's punting to the local authorities and putting a narrative that this is a kidnap for ransom. In this statement from the FBI. But here's the weirdness of this thing. Again, it came from the FBI first, and the sheriff's department had to respond. And so the sheriff puts out throughout the investigation, the Pima County Sheriff's Department has received information regarding potential ransom notes related to the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. Every tip and lead is taken seriously and is forwarded directly to our detectives who continue to work in coordination with the FBI. So they're saying they are also getting ransom notes. Who's getting these ransom notes? Are they going to the sheriff's department? Are they going to the FBI? Are they going to the news stations? Are they going to TMZ? What the heck is going on here?
Well,
And
are
only
there
one-
more than two, Chris?
Huh?
Are there more than two ransom demands?
Exactly. I mean, everybody's missed this piece up there, those first three sentences there. That the Pima County Sheriff's has received information regarding potential ransom notes related to the kidnapping. Okay, what kind of information? Are they getting notes? Because he's now punting it back into the FBI's court saying, well, they're the ones handing the ransom notes. Because look at the next sentence. Any questions regarding alleged ransom notes should be directed to the FBI, meaning, oh, you're saying you're allegedly working this case, kidnap for ransom, and you allegedly have ransom notes? Okay, fine. Back in your court. It's almost like a tennis game. It's like two kids in a sandbox kicking each other.
And they've only arrested one person in connection with these extortion attempts.
Well, right. And then he gets to the third paragraph here, and we appreciate the public's continued cooperation and the information provided throughout the investigation. Anyone with information that may assist investigators is encouraged to call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI and submit an anonymous tip to 888-CRIME. So basically what he just said is the FBI said, look, if you guys want to know anything, we're just supporting them. Call the sheriff's department. And the sheriff's department said, well, we're not working anything. That's the FBI. Call them.
Yeah, because this by all rights should still be a Pima County case, but it sounds to me like they've abrogated responsibility for it.
Well, I think Nanos came out.
Oh, the FBI.
Yeah, I think I heard Nanos came out in some interview. I don't know if it was that radio interview or what, but he said that, and this was a few days ago, he said that the FBI was handling the ransom
notes,
notes and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
involving the ransom notes.
I heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it's interesting that he frames that press conference or that press statement as alleged ransom notes. Why doesn't he just be clarity of messaging and saying the FBI is handling the ransom notes that have come in? Done. 10-8, all units cleared, nothing to see here, move along. But it's like this, word salad semantics of, well, okay, let me get this right. Yeah, we send it to the lab and let's remember the history. And the FBI goes, well, we could have waited for it. Oh, you said that? No problem. I had a plane ready. Okay. Oh, you said that? Okay, fine. And it's like, and then Kash Patel says, oh, guess what? We have, hey, Tim, that's a question I can ask you. So the feds went to Google with a bunch of information, a bunch of videos or a bunch of information, and they were able to somehow develop information that they provided back to the authorities. Concepts, ideas, or you want to stay away?
Well, no, it's not that. So Google knows what people are searching for, and they know the IP addresses of the people who are submitting those queries. Every one of those search queries is logged, and Google has this thing called the sawmill that interprets all of those logs, so they can analyze all those logs. And what they'll do is they'll inform an agency that comes to them with a warrant, and they'll give them aggregated information. So it'll be like, okay, there were this many searches for the name Nancy Guthrie, and it's coming from a group of IPs that are all located in Southern California, but that's about as specific as they'll ever get.
But do they really know where it's coming from though? But they won't give it to the authorities?
Correct. Yes.
Is that the culture of Google, or is that because
it's the business model?
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, if they were to reveal the sources, then the whole business would collapse. The public would find some other way.
Just like Bitcoin.
Yeah. Interesting. You
they would Bing. So there you go.
Yeah.
I tell my students that. I say, okay, guys, you can Bing this subject.
The browser. And by the way, you still have a delay. You have a lag still in your Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Is it the picture or my voice as well?
Your voice, just your voice.
Oh, sorry.
You could do a ventriloquist act, though. That'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Tim, any other thoughts, ideas, any concepts that you want to share? Well, I've had you for 2 hours, and number one, I love you, and thank you so much for coming out here and just doing what you do.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's fun.
Yeah, and
like you guys. I'm glad there are people like you out there doing this.
Well, yeah, I know, right? And tell everybody about your campaign again, and if they would like to donate from the United States, what they can do.
Can we hear the stump again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks.
And by the way, I used AI to tune up this stump. Okay.
Nice.
So all right. So I'm Tim McDonough, and I'm running for Texas House District 114. It's the heart of Dallas. And I am an economist, the first member of the faculty of SMU in its 114-year history to run for a public office. Now, my number one issue is property taxes. And as I mentioned, I am an economist. I know what that road looks like. It's a long and hard one, but it can be done. So in November, when it's time to vote, it's time for Tim.
One of our guests asked you accept Bitcoin.
No, I do not accept Bitcoin, but I do accept Beanie Babies. I will reiterate that.
You are in luck.
You are,
You're gonna have the most well-funded campaign of all time.
Oh man, I can't lose.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll give you the address of my opponent. You can send them all there, and I'll pick them up later.
Any Beanie Baby you might get from John will have a demented name, just so you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm offended. It's not a lie, but I am offended.
Yeah.
What is custodial versus non-custodial Bitcoin transactions? Is there a difference?
Custodial?
Yeah.
Okay, so it just means that someone else is acting as a third party.
Okay. Do they bypass taxes?
Well, I mean, it's like putting them in an IRA. I don't know of any IRAs that will serve as a custodian, but there might be some out there, self-directed. I don't know.
Tomorrow night reactions. Yeah, we'll probably be up tomorrow with Colella. Google is the reason I use DuckDuckGo for search engine. 5 years now without Google snooping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I use.
DuckDuckGo. Does it work, Tim? Does DuckDuckGo work? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I use.
So it works.
It works.
Okay,
or you can always Bing. If all else fails, you can Bing.
I have one funny story, two brothers, that when he went to Google, tell him when you would fly in and you would wear come from Texas, the shtick when you'd go up to Mountain View. And they were like, they'd scratch their heads. Go ahead.
You mean how I got there?
Yeah. And then when you showed up.
Well, I had an airplane.
Right.
So I used to fly myself.
And
simple as that, Chris.
And
I used to fly into Palo Alto.
And you had boots?
Well, yeah, of course. Hey, I immigrated to Texas in 1980, when I met Janice. And I became a naturalized citizen at that time of Texas. So, you know that we were a republic, right?
Yeah, the Republic of Texas.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't care if they repeal the Second Amendment.
Because Texas law, Texas Constitution.
That's correct. The Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 23, gives us the right to own and bear arms with none of that militia nonsense, muddying up the waters. It's just strictly that.
You should put that in your stump.
Look, all of my my audience is Texan, so they all know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, we don't have metal detectors at our events.
Well, if you ever run for president, you should throw that one in.
Yeah, well, there's president of Texas. You mean when?
No, not president of Texas.
When the United States secedes from Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was talking to one of my buddies, he's running for comptroller, Don Huffines, and I asked him on stage one time, when he thinks, hey, when do you think the United States will secede from Texas? And and nobody in the audience even batted an eye. It's like, yeah, well, there's some data out there probably for this. We are the 8th, soon to be the 7th largest economy in the world. Not a state, not among the states. I mean, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So all eyes are on Texas for good reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening down there, and you're the right guy for the right time. No doubt about it in my mind. So support my brother. I got 300,000 subs, so support my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, as Dallas goes, Texas goes. As Texas goes, so does the United States, and that's why this election is so critical.
Yeah, we're at a critical time, aren't we?
It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, look at Ireland, right? Ireland and Great Britain are going kinetic. And you've heard me say this for years and years and years. Folks here probably don't know. I used to live in France and Saudi Arabia. But when I was living in France in the early 80s, I could see in the suburbs of their major cities some developments there that I knew was not going to end well. And sure enough, it's starting to boil over now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Too bad for Ireland.
Yeah, what did they burn? A cathedral this morning.
Well, yesterday they burned the resting place of St. Patrick, the founder of Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and now we're hearing about mosques going up in flames. So it's going kinetic. And the thing about the Irish, I've got this meme that I put on Twitter, mostly X. It's a photograph of the guys who were involved in the Easter uprising, and I just put a caption on the bottom of it: "Our grandfathers celebrating Easter."
Yeah, 1916, the Dublin Post Office.
Yeah, and they're all armed.
Yes.
So and they remember the troubles. The folks in Ireland aren't going to fool around. They're going to get right to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a interesting.
Like it's interesting. Yeah.
And
now I've been targeted.
What do you mean?
My campaign. So my opponent has been endorsed by CARE.
Oh wow.
And he's got money flowing in from Frisco, Plano, areas you're familiar with, Chris. And his largest private donor is a guy named Mohammed, and I'll leave his last name off. So we know that money. Talk about Bitcoin. So they're probably using cryptocurrency to make these transfers from the Middle East and other places to the CARE organization here in Plano. And then they're making donations through this web of fictitious entities. There are all these LLCs that this guy is associated with don't seem to have any operations at all. So it's just a laundromat.
And you're not supposed to take outside donations from out of the country, correct?
Correct. It is against the law. So, and of course I don't want them, but my opponent has no problem with it. So they've got their sights set on my district. Why? Because I'm in the heart of Dallas, and my district, which is about 200,000 people. Okay. So think about an area where 200,000 people can live. Our district has 0 mosques as we speak. 0. And that's why they want it. And so they've got their useful idiot, and he's He's campaigning from his basement. His campaign website is from the last election, hasn't changed anything at all. So they're just waiting to groom a successor. What he doesn't realize is that the folks in Plano and in Frisco want their guy to be groomed. So once he's in office, then they dispense with the useful idiots.
Makes sense.
And that's how it goes. That's what we're up against. And meanwhile, just the other night I was with General Flynn and a couple of others that you guys are probably familiar with. I met with Tommy Robinson a couple weeks ago. We had a good laugh because we believe that I may be the first American to have actually applied for membership in the English Defense League back in 2009 when Tommy was stirring all things up. And the reason we laughed about it because it was basically just a bunch of guys in a pub, But I recognized it for what it was and stepped up. So yeah, I've been in this game a long time.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate you.
I'm their worst nightmare. Absolutely worst nightmare. Because I've studied Islam since 1971, and I'm familiar with all of their canon. I know what their tactics are, and I know how violent that they can get. Law enforcement, God bless you guys, but it's really hard to be on the same level with these guys. And but we do what we can.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that that you were invited by the royal family and to come to Saudi Arabia to work for Saudia Airlines at the time back in the day.
Right, me and another guy, we wrote their what's called an operation specification for their airline. We helped set up their airline. And 2 Americans hired help.
Yeah, by direct. And your daughter was born in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we have her spaghetti writing birth certificate.
So, I love my brother. He's so funny.
She has absolutely zero rights in Saudi Arabia. Talk about birthright, right? Now, nothing. They treat women like they're animals. By that I mean just property. It's a pet. Oh, that's your pet dog. You're a cat, and you ask anybody how wealthy they are. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I've got 3 camels, 4 goats, 10 sheep, and 2 women."
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shift. It's a shift in time. I remember when you told me how they get them around. They open the trunk and they sit in the trunk.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I've seen them get on an airplane, and the man and his sons will get on first, and when they go in through the door, they turn left, go into the first class cabin, and all of the Guinness bottles, we used to call them, all the women and the children turn right and go into the economy, and that's the life that they know, and they're trying to bring it here.
Yeah,
and they're trying to do it in my district. Well, guess what? We remember here in Texas what it took to get here. So we remember San Jacinto. All you guys remember Alamo. We remember San Jacinto.
Battle of San Jacinto.
There you go. Yeah. And by the way, my boots are made by the same guy who makes boots for Jerry Jones. So, yeah, I couldn't help it. I had to have them.
Jerry Jones.
Now you know why he taught me how to fish. I love my brother, and we are so grateful that you're here. And please be careful, okay? You know me, so That said,
we're good.
I know
We're
you
good.
It's a crazy time, though, a crazy world. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much for following the interview room tonight. We're so grateful for you. Continue to take care of each other. As they say in Hawaii, biakamai, pay attention to what's going on. Any other final word? Tim, John, Bob, John, tell them where they can get your books.
Well, the books are, I believe you've got a link down below, and I saw a couple of comments from people who are reading the murder mysteries from years ago. Service with a Sneer, Beach Blanket Bedlam. Thank you for everybody who's bought them. And I want to thank the mods and, all of your entire audience and the panel. And above all, I want to thank Tim for explaining something that I didn't, I only had a very thin grasp on. So thank you.
Awesome. Josh, tell everybody about your channel and get over there and subscribe to this guy, would you?
Yeah, you can follow me on the lab. Like I said, I frequently have guests on there that include.
You should have Tim on.
I would love to have Tim on. He's fantastic. Although it was funny watching you guys try and figure out the fan situation before the show started, and then I hear him talking. I go, well, he's a genius, but he didn't know that he had a fan going. So
he couldn't hear it with the headset.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
You want to hear it again? I can turn it
Sure.
on.
I would love to. Yeah. But yeah, you can follow me on the lab over there, and I frequently have these guys on, and also Dr. Gary and I would do call-in shows as well. And I really appreciate all your guys' time. And Tim, it was wonderful to meet you. You have a fantastic brother. It's funny to know that there's another McDonough out there with the same kind of humor. So you guys are peas in a pod. I tell you that.
Well, it's been a long journey. Thank you.
You're a great sister too. Bobby, tell everybody what you're up to, my friend.
Well, I'll echo what John and Josh said. Good to meet you, Tim. Really enjoyed the information and the discussion. It was very enlightening for me. Yeah, so I'm not up to much. There is an issue that I sent you a text, Chris. I won't do it tonight, but I sent it earlier today before the show. Oh, okay. It has to do with Alex, and I just want to address it and clarify some things, but we can do it on the next show if you want. I can do it now. So,
well, why don't we wrap this up and we'll do it on the way out.
Sounds good.
Okay. Perfect. Tim, final word, and we're going to go to Hawaii. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for all of my pilot buddies out there, keep the blue side up.
Awesome. That's a good sign. All right.
That includes my nephew. Okay. That includes your son, Chris.
I know. I love him. All right. Aloha. See you guys later.
Aloha. Night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hard working every day. I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts. Wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah. Make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away. You and me go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, taking away, yeah, we're taking away. We'll never come down, we're going away, yeah, we're going away, you and me. Feeling the sun on my face in a while.